Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 2 of Scam News Desk. I'm your host, Jacqueline Jayne, here to share with you some of the latest scams that are doing the rounds with some advice on how to avoid them. Let's get straight into it. Our first scam this week comes to us and shared by Simon Sinek over on LinkedIn. And this is a scam alert that says we will never use a gmail.com email address to contact you. If you receive any inquiries or podcast invites from an @Gmail account, please ignore them. The information of the post itself reads as follows. There's a scam going around where people use my name and podcast to join a Zoom call. The scammers will then ask victims to share their screen and will later use the information to get that screen share to lock people out of their social accounts. Please do not respond and delete these emails. So, what does that mean? If you get an email saying it's from Simon Sinek and it's a Gmail email account, ignore it, it's a scam. These things are really important because at the moment, Amy has over 8 million followers just on LinkedIn, not to mention everywhere else. So scammers can take advantage if you received an email that said, hey, we're contacting you from Simon Sinek, click here to join this meeting, join this Zoom. It's going to be a scam, so avoid that one. The next one's an interesting one because whilst the advertisement says how to check if you've owed a share of over $241 million in unclaimed money here in Australia, of which over 930,000 Aussies are actually owed a share of unclaimed Medicare benefits. This is information on how to actually go about checking to see if you are owed some of that money. It goes along to tell you the instructions of what you need to do. Here's how to check if Medicare owes you money. As we move forward, there's a warning to the public to be wary of scammers seeking to take advantage of this situation. We will not, we being the Australian government, so looking from your MyGov account, they will not send a link to you to ask you to open it. So whether that's an SMS, remember that's called smishing, a fake SMS, or a malicious email, a fake email, which we call a phishing email. If you get any of those two forms of communication saying, congratulations, we've found $1,000 of unclaimed Medicare payments, it looks all real because that's what the scammers do. They make it look as real as possible with a link to claim your money now, which is probably what it would say, or log in from this link to see if you actually have some money available. Don't do it. If you're in Australia and you want to see if you actually do have any of this money owed to you, log into your MyGov account by official channels, check your MyGov account is linked to Medicare, and make sure your bank details are up to date. That's all you have to do. Any money you're owed will be paid. It says it here. Let me highlight it. Any money you're owed will be paid into your bank account within 3 days. Therefore, keep in mind, if you get any communication that says it's from any government department, especially in Australia, if it's got a link on it, it is absolutely a scam because they do not send links. So please be aware of that. The next one we're looking at, this is from the Financial Times, where banks and regulators warn of a rise in quishing QR code scams. So the QR codes, we're pretty familiar with them. There's a lovely image of it right there for you to have a look at. Now, what happens in these situations is these scammers are slipping through corporate cyber defenses through to tricking customers to scan nasty QR codes. The code itself is okay, but where it takes you isn't. So what that means, let's have a read of what it's got. So the new type of email scam often involves criminals sending QR codes in attached PDFs. Very common if you think about it. So you open things up and there's a QR code. Experts said that the strategy is effective because the messages frequently get through corporate security filters. Software that typically flags malicious website links but often doesn't scan images within attachments. Now, these QR codes that are quishing, the QR code version of phishing, remember SMS version, smishing, emails, phishing, voice versions, vishing, the ishing family, which I'll be doing a session on very soon. But what happens here is the appeal for the cyber criminals that it bypasses the cybersecurity and even all the training for people to pay attention to all of this stuff. And then if you were to scan the QR code, you'll be taken to a fake website and asked to potentially share some information, which can then be stolen, used against you for identity theft and all other sorts of things. As it says here for about QR codes contain data such as URLs or payment information in binary code, which is a form of the zeros and ones, which all computers are actually run by. Zeros and ones, who knew? Invented by a Japanese company, Denso Wave, in 1994 as a tool for tracking auto parts, of all things. So QR codes are designed to be quickly readable by machines, particularly smartphones, but are generally illegible to humans. I'll put a link below of this fascinating YouTube video that I saw not that long ago about QR codes, if there's any geeks out there who would like to know a little bit more about the history of them, because I actually found it incredibly fascinating. Okay, although most smartphones display a short preview of the URL, so when you get your mobile device and go up to the QR code, it will give you a little preview of where it's going. Researchers have said that this pop-up is generally not sufficient for users to be able to detect if that link might be fraudulent. So these attacks take advantage of the fact that QR codes by nature are difficult to interpret visually. You can't look at them and think, oh, hold on, there's a red flag there. That QR code looks a bit dodgy. It doesn't work that way. So Bank said that the prevalence of these kind of scams has accelerated since QR codes surged in popularity during the COVID-19 pandemic. And extra to that, in a couple of years ago, Coinbase, a cryptocurrency organization, used a QR code for advertising during the American Super Bowl. Huge amount of people saw it. Now, all it was a QR code bouncing around the screen. And for over 20 million people watching the Super Bowl that year, picked up their phone and scanned that QR code. It was absolutely safe and there was nothing wrong with it. However, what it did was increase that popularity of using a QR code. And of course, cyber criminals, being who they are, said, excellent, we're going to use this too. So not only did it lift popularity from COVID-19 check-in, also what happened there in the Super Bowl, there is more and more QR codes being used daily for really useful things, but unfortunately also nefarious things. Let's have a look here that a survey by security company McAfee in May found that more than 1/5 of all online scams in the UK probably originated from QR codes. That's a lot. Reports of QR code scams in the UK more than doubled in the year to August 2024. The US Federal Trade Mission, as well as multiple local authorities across the UK, also warned this year about a specific kind of quishing scam targeting drivers, including cases where stickers directing users to fraudulent sites have been placed on top of legitimate QR codes to pay for parking. So you drive your car somewhere, you get out, you scan your QR code to pay for your parking, but the cyber criminal has put another QR code on top of that and is taking your money. So you're thinking you're paying for your parking and you're not. You've just given your money to somebody else. So these links may direct users to an incorrect website and ask them to enter their details or lead them to download malware. What is malware? Well, it's malicious software. So yes, you could potentially scan a QR code using your device and it will download malicious software onto your phone that potentially gives access to the cyber criminal to your entire phone and your entire life that's on your mobile device. So victims have also reported fraudulent QR codes being placed over legitimate ones at electronic charging points, train stations, and restaurant tables. Researchers said that phishing scams are most commonly deployed in emails, a threat that has put corporate security vendors under pressure to adapt their online defences. That's why I'm here to talk to you about it, so that you can be aware of it. Today, almost no cybersecurity products are looking through attachments. If it continues to be a problem, the industry will have to move there to try and fix it. So what do? Whilst it's always very informative to learn about these scams and what you can do, did you know you can actually download pre-scanning software on your phone as an app to check to see if the QR code is actually going to a legitimate place. And I'll add some links below as well in the description of where you can actually find that. So, trust and verify continues. It's something that is said very commonly in the world of cybersecurity. Trust and verify, because unfortunately, these days, you just need to be so aware of what's happening online. And again, all the links for all these articles will be available for you in the description. Here's another one. Aussies warned of insidious Centrelink bonus payment scam. Now, remember, doesn't matter where you are in the world, these bonus payment scams from governments and all sorts of other places are common everywhere. This particular scam claims to promote a cost of living bonus payment from Centrelink. Now, the cost of living is a concern globally, but here in Australia, now this is cyber criminals saying, well, here's a good opportunity for us to leverage these headlines that we're seeing. And this one is a claim to promote $890 cost of living bonus payment from Centrelink, one of our government departments. Services Australia confirmed a series of fake websites which are popping up ads online on social media claiming to offer a bonus payment which people must claim before the end of October. So we're in November now, so hopefully no one fell for it, but these things will pop up again. Rest assured, the playbook of cyber criminals just continues to roll on. And if you do happen to see these and you were to click, scammers can steal personal data. These scam websites will typically feature clickbait images promising once-off payment, cash relief payment from Centrelink for pensioners, people with disabilities, and low-income earners. So if you're struggling these days and someone offers you that opportunity, you're probably going to click. They offer varying amounts of money, including $750 and $1,800. These payments don't exist. They're all fake. The clickbait websites will encourage the person to check their eligibility status by entering their personal details required to log in to the MyGov website. The scammer will then access the MyGov account and lock the person's. How do you stop these things? Well, if you see any advertisement that says it's from the government saying, here's a bonus payment for you, click here, give me your details, that is your red flag. If the website does not end in .gov, .au, then it isn't official, and Services Australia, MyGov, the Australian government themselves will never send links or do anything like that from an advertising point of view. Everything will come via official channels. Okay, the last one this week has been shared by a follower of mine who has been around for back in the old clubhouse days. So I appreciate you sharing this with me. This one I'm going to read because it's something that we all need to know about. This is a scam warning coming from a Reddit post. Everyone knows to be on the lookout for scams, yet here I am, a tech-savvy 22-year-old who just got duped. A very common story. This all started 2 weeks ago when there was fraudulent charges on my ANZ debit card. The bank notified me and a replacement card was issued. The ANZ is an Australian bank. Then today, I was busy working away studying for exams when I got another call from ANZ. They called asking about some suspicious direct debits that they had paused but wanted my approval for. These were fraudulent, and I got passed on to their internal security hotline. The whole process was very official, including a reference number that I had to recite back, being given a spiel about recording of the call and automated ANZ hold music. So far, no red flag, seems all good. They even got me to hang up the phone when using voice identification to prevent scams. From there, I went through a lengthy process where they told me that my account had been compromised and they were going to give me a new BSB and account number. That's the bank branch number. By this point, I trusted the scammers. They got me to verify my identity, and by this point, he had been tricked. It was now that they got me to transfer a portion of my savings to the new account. Once I'd done so, they said I have to wait 3 hours for a new CRN, customer reference number, and then I would be able to access my new account. Once I hung up the phone, I realized I'd been scammed. That happens a lot, even to the best of us. So this person called the ANZ straight back and they were able to stop the payment, thankfully. Whilst ANZ can be questionable at times, every financial institution can be. In this instance, I am so grateful for their help. So now it's all over and the only loss is a few hours of my time. Incredibly lucky. Before I finish up this post, I will leave a list of learning points which enabled the scam. These are really important, so listen up. If you receive a similar call from the bank, stop what you're doing and focus. I was distracted at the time as my car windshield was being replaced, and so they weren't focusing entirely. Number two, the first four digits of a card are the same for all ANZ customers, and that will be the same for all banks as well. They didn't know this, so when they confirmed these numbers, they trusted the person on the phone. Point three, when verifying your identity with the bank, ensure you are verifying them. That's a really good point. I'll highlight it just because it's that important. They asked for a postcode and account balance for their verification, but now I realise they were just agreeing with what I had said. All they actually knew about me was my phone number, email, name, and that I was an ANZ customer. It's really easy to get all of that information freely on the internet, so be cautious. Point four, if anything is even slightly suspicious, open up the bank's fraud prevention website and ensure that everything is above board. In this person's case, they'd already gained the trust and they didn't do any of that, so it wouldn't have even happened if they had done it, and he might have been able to stop the scam in the first place. The phone numbers of this and this are scams. So these are numbers you'll be able to find if you get a number you're not sure of. If you type it in, often it will tell you that it's a scam number. Thank you for reading my long spiel. I've obviously ridden a roller coaster of emotions and typing all of this out. That is such a common scam for anyone, anywhere in the world. So I'm appreciative of this person for posting, and also to my friend for letting me know about it via LinkedIn DMs. It's so important to be aware of these type of scams and how professional scammers can actually be. That's all for this week, folks. If you come across a scam that you'd like me to include in future episodes, please feel free to let me know in the comments or connect with me over on LinkedIn and send me a DM. If you have found this helpful, remember to like and subscribe and even share this episode with others. Until next time, stay safe online and remember, don't click on shit. Bye for now.